Hello, this is Eliza Kendall, coming to you from Ocean Shores in northern New South Wales, Australia. It is the 18th of July 2020 and it is a very special spirit report this week. I normally do it on a Thursday. I was asked to wait and give more time, more energy, more presence to the report this week because it is the solstice coming up. We have an eclipse that happens about a couple hours before the solstice, a new moon following that. And we're in the middle of eclipse season and it's 2020, so it's an epic transformation time. So this is the beautiful Janey, wonderful friend of mine. As I was feeling into, how to kind of offer you something more, a more potent reading download for this solstice, I had got a message from Janey. We're considering doing some work together, some podcasts and stuff. So she's very kindly offered to come in and ask me some questions while I'm channeling so that we can get some really awesome information today.
Flesh it out.
Yeah.
So to speak.
It's a download. So that's really cool. I really love it. Thank you for coming.
I'm excited.
Yeah, that feels really good.
Yeah.
And I'll just tuck that in, make sure my little fancy tech is working. So I'm so profesh. Okay, so to begin, I'm just going to take a moment to, I actually am feeling called to give some reverence to the moment, reverence to right now, reverence to these times we find ourselves in where we are experiencing a global reset. It is considered that this time right now in the middle of this eclipse season, in the middle of 2020, is the actual time when the new Earth template really anchors in, as in it's happening right now, like the next few days. It's considered that the new Earth can begin because also astrologically speaking, we're coming back to a 0 point. So, and again, it's all happening now, all at once. So it's
So it's actually happening.
It's
actually happening now. Finally actually happening now.
That's it. So it's, we're beginning again and again, but we're actually beginning now to what I feel like is a real, I want to say, a calibration or a recalibration of those new templates that so many of us have been working towards, the new Earth that we've been, pushing for and fighting for all this time. It's like we had it in our vision. And I feel like now it's coming down from the cosmos with the support from the Earth, and it's like coming into heart where we can action it.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling the potency of these times. My body is having all sorts of sort of fluctuations as things recalibrate, and I'm sure many of you have had that as well. It's a really fascinating time to be alive, to be embodied on this planet. I mean, I think it's just fucking awesome that we get to contribute to this.
Yes.
Like, this is why I'm here. This is why I came. I'm 43, but this is why I came. It's like it's happening now. So okay. So I've had a few spirits wanting to have some communication with me, certainly the last few days. As I said yesterday, I was asked to pause and set this up today with a bit more room and space because some beings wanted to come and speak directly through you, and my body wasn't really capable of supporting such energies yesterday. So here we are. Okay, so I'm going to put my crown on and I'm going to just ask if together in this moment, with all the beings who are willing to work with us and communicate with us throughout these spirit reports, I'm going to call all of you in right now, and I'm going to ask you to formulate a circle around the area. I want you to please create an energetic container, a perimeter of protection around this information so that it can be shepherded straight from us through the lens, through the waves, the airwaves, through the www into your minds and hearts without being tainted, without being kind of messed with or misconstrued in any way. So we're really asking for a very clear vortex to be open, for this communication to be received by you clearly, cleanly in its purity and truth, and for you to feel it in your heart and mind. Wonderful. Okay, thank you.
Loaded, locked and loaded.
Yeah. That's it. My body's like, oh, okay, we're doing this. So, And all right, and I just want to say thank you to those who are here and those who have been encouraging me as well to open up this vortex today for us during this amazing time. So, okay, wonderful. So I'm going to take a couple of breaths. I'm going to send my conscious mind over to the corner of the room where it gets to sit and watch for a while. And then we'll hand it over to Janey to see how you want to feel, what you want to ask. Okay.
I'll take a couple of breaths. I'd like to invite in the beings that are here to communicate with us about what's going on in this strong time, in the eclipse time, in the solstice time, how we can best serve those energies to help ground in the new earth grids and ourselves, and then how we can best participate in that new earth for ourselves and for the planet harmoniously amongst a lot of intensity where a lot of people have lost maybe their trust in how to do things in a way that keeps them on track.
Yes, we are listening to you. We are wanted a little more clarity around the last thing that you mentioned, as far as people losing trust. We are curious around understanding this so that we can answer you in clarity.
Okay, so what I'm observing is that a lot of people have been very sure of their path and confident in the way that they utilise their energy and their integrity and their priorities and their value systems, and that as the world has wobbled a lot and things have got very intense in their face and there's a lot of information and knowledge stuff and a lot of kind of activisty fire, like a lot of fire has come in.
Yes, we understand.
A bit unsure of not even so much what's right, what's wrong, but how they can check in to walk forward at an intense time of needing to be and wanting to be in service.
Yes, we understand. Yes, thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, we are aware and we are certainly very present to the feelings around some of those things that you have said, where some of the disconnection with the trust of the intuition, let's say, or the trust of the inner guidance, or as you say, the timelines and the perhaps visions of that were so very clear and so very set in stone, and that you were working towards and continuing to dream and calling in these beautiful visions and birthing these new ideas into the world, and many of those things have been wiped or paused, or they are simply no longer in your vision anymore and you are wondering what to do about it. Most certainly, yes, we can understand this, and there is a few things that we would like to mention here. Really, we have many things we want to share with you in order to assist you in this time, but we are wishing to address what you have asked us. And so when it comes to this, let's say, idea of trusting the self, and the idea that you have developed to such a capacity that you can then completely 100% trust that you know where you sit, as in what side of the fence you sit on, or who to follow, or what is right or wrong. Yes, there are most certainly this double checking into one's morality going on right now, most certainly. But we want you to know that this is the opportune place. This is in fact the space and place and we almost want to say mentality that was required in order for this transition to take place. And so we wish to offer you a reframe, because what is being called for those of you who have been on the spiritual path, let's say the enlightened path for many years and have been, doing what you sort of call the work. We're not so favourable about that term, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, You have been continuing on this path, and you have been very dedicated and very committed, and feeling your mission, and feeling that you have a purpose, and feeling that you want to contribute and be of service to the greater good of all. And the work that has been done has gotten us to this place, and we really want you to know that all that you have contributed has gotten us to this place, gotten all of you and us with you. We're always in it with you to this place, and what a wonderful thing we find ourselves in. And so as we find ourselves here, what is being called for those of you who already have the skills at discernment, have already built your connection to your intuitive guidance, who have that inner compass and really run from that inner compass, guided by your heart mind most of the time. What we are inviting you to do now is a refinement of it. But within the refinement, we want you to know there will be some things that you thought were really set in stone that you believed that will require you to wipe now. There will be some people that you thought were infallible. There will be some people that you thought were only the devil, that are actually presenting as somewhat as a savior. There will be some people that are also the opposite of that you thought were saviors, that you were quite sure were a very perhaps higher channeling guide, or someone that was very clear and clean, and that you could really trust them 100% what they say, and you could really trust their vision and trust their energy and trust their purity and trust their clean, clear channel. What we are really wanting to highlight for you right now is that the only trust is within that intuitive capacity. But it's like a new level of we want to say intuitive intelligence for those of you, a much deeper, much more profoundly higher intelligent, higher dimensional level of working with intuition. So those of you that have been working with intuition for some time, you know, it's been really serving you well. Someone suggests you do something, you get this feeling inside you, ooh, it doesn't feel quite right, I'm not going to do that thing. This is a wonderful, amazing way to be moving through the world, and we can see that you've been doing this. And as we've said, fantastic. I've gotten all of us to this point where we can really switch over into a new way of being in the world now, all of us together above and below. But what we are encouraging you to do right now, what is needed to be done, is almost an unraveling of the way you trust, yes, but also connect and listen and use your intuition in order to find a far more appropriate, and we want to say updated way to use the intuition, as in the energetic capacities that you have to connect with your cosmic wisdom, or connect with ancestral, or to connect with any spirits of any kind, are well and truly much more heightened than they've ever been for you. And so we want you to work with the new energies of working with intuition. And so we kind of want to say to you, if you feel like you can't trust yourself anymore, good. Be in that spot for a while. Be there and allow that to wipe some slates clean, so that you can then have a look around inside, in your inner landscape. Have a look around at all the dynamics at play. Have a look at the masculine and feminine dynamics in play. Have a look at where the conflict is. Have a look at where the contrast, where the push-pull dynamics are inside of yourself. And see if you can find new ways to use or wield your energy, wield your magic, wield your power. It's a funny word, isn't it, that power? Yeah. Wield your beauty. It's new ways for you to wield it now, and part of the reason why you need new ways to wield it is because the way that you wielded it before was appropriate for the old world. It's not going to fit into the old world, so you have to also wipe yourself. So even though you've done the work, you know who you are, you know that sacredness is most important, you know that we are all on a mission here to contribute to the new earth, and that we are changing the planet, and that things are going to get really, 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 really good. You know all of those things, but do you know how to instantly, in a moment, check within yourself to get the communications, the sometimes subtle communications coming from the nuances of your energetic body as it moves through the world, as it moves through the life, and as it bumps into other living things, particularly other humans, particularly those of the opposite sex, most certainly. So there is something else here, because we have heard you in that you want to know how you can move through these times. And so we are speaking to those of you who again, have already made a certain amount of progress. And we touched on it a moment ago, and we want to go a little bit deeper into that now. Those of you who are in the feminine condition, we are inviting you to, we want to say, become friendly again. Become very, very friendly again with the inner opposite. If you're in the masculine condition, there is something different here for you though. So if you're in the feminine body and you relate to that, and that is the archetype that you are moving through your life, then this is what we're inviting you to do is to, we know that you've already done inner masculine work and that you have already accepted those parts of yourself and you're pretty integrated there. But again, there are deeper levels coming up here, and we want you to go a little bit deeper than that because we think you're going to find something very interesting when you dig a little deeper in that dynamic inside of yourself. And we think you're going to then very, very quickly recognize how that's playing out in the external dynamic within, we want to sort of say, the rest of the population. Okay, so that's for the feminine. Now, those of you who are in the masculine condition relate to the masculine condition. What is being called for you now, and what is, well, we want to say, the most advantageous, the most beneficial thing for you to be focusing on right now is not just about bringing in your inner feminine or kind of maybe becoming softer or more vulnerable. It's not really about that. We kind of put those words into inverted commas in the way that you sometimes do because we understand that these words have now gotten an energy around them. The vulnerable masculine is now it has an archetype energetic around it now. So we kind of throw these words out for you because we know that you'll understand the full body of what we're saying with you. But what we're inviting you to do right now is to kind of put down some of those because some of them have become dogmatic. Some of them have, as we've said, become archetypes that some people are holding on to as a way, some men are holding on to as a way to access the feminine. And it is in somewhat, we want to say, draining the pure, divine, crystalline light out of the masculine in favor of trying to bring up this feminine. And what we really want is for both to kind of be rising up to meet in the heart together in unity, as opposed to one being more dominant than the other. So what we're inviting you to do, if you're in that masculine condition, is to connect and take action. We are inviting you now to take action to build your intuitive connection. It is the most important thing you can be doing right now. If you have some women in your life who can speak with you about what this is, if you have some elders, some grandmothers around you who can speak to you about what the intuition is, if you have some Indigenous grandmothers around you who can speak to you about what this is, how is it lived? How is it managed? How is it used in an everyday sense within that feminine condition? We are strongly encouraging you now to focus, to perhaps take the next few months or the rest of 2020 to focus in a very fine-tuned way at building that capacity within you, because it is this capacity that will serve you and give you the safety that you need to deal and, we want to say, maintain an inner harmonized state so you can be the harmony for the rest of the world as the changes continue. Things are going to continue being tumultuous and chaotic, and so we are also inviting you to just learn how to ride the chaos. Just keep riding it, knowing that you are riding a wave and that waves change and move and that stillness comes after chaos. And
Stillness after the chaos.
Thank you, throat. And yes, and are we speaking clearly?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Do you have any other questions for us?
No, I feel like there's just more that's going to keep coming through. Is there something more?
Yes.
Another being that wants to come
Oh.
through?
Well, we are speaking on behalf of the many who are here. Eliza tends to send out a request for efficiency. She likes things to be done pretty quickly, so she tends to send a request that we have a representative speak for all of us rather than many moving through, which we are more than happy to accommodate for her. But as you have invited that, and we understand she is willing. Thank you for speaking with us, and we love to speak with you, and we love to have these opportunities to continue speaking with you in this way. Yes. We are also speaking on behalf of many. We have spoken to you before. Some of the other representatives of this, let's say, group have spoken to you before, and what we really want to continue speaking with you about, and you have asked the question, and we would like to answer it for you in order to ensure that your questions have been asked in the most thorough way possible. You have requested what we can do, what humans can do, more specifically, for the Earth and to support the transition of the entity that is Gaia. It is very important to understand that it is an entity. It has its own energetic resonance, but it is also the resonance of you. You are of it, it is of you, and so as we, as humans, as we support you as humans to ascend this word ascension, let's say evolve, so too does the Earth evolve. And so it is important for you to also understand that while you are in chaos, she is in chaos. While she is in chaos, you are in chaos. But again, harmony, peace always comes at the same time, we almost want to say, as chaos. And we want you to consider the cycles of the Earth, and we want you to consider that while the Earth exists in chaos, it also exists in divine serenity simultaneously. And so can you too exist in divine serenity in your inner world while the external world is perhaps in a gigantic mega storm? Can you continue to maintain a space of internal harmony, knowing that you are not dropping out of the chaos, you are not ignoring it, you are not even stepping away from it, you are in fact choosing to exist as a peaceful being within it? And we want you to consider this is also what the Earth is doing, but we want to give you something else. We want to say that if you could imagine that within the center of the Earth, there is a ball of energy, let's say energy for now, extremely powerful ball of energy that essentially, let's say, charges the planet. It's also a ball of energy that contains all the information that was, we want to be careful with our words here, the information that was used to construct the planet, let's say, is also contained within this ball of energy in the center. And what is happening on the Earth right now is that the surface is being cleaned. You know, when you are digging in the garden, let's say, and you come up against some very dense dirt, it's very sandy, it's very hard, maybe someone's even put a concrete plate on that dirt, and you can't get right down to where it's really moist and really nutritious, and even get down even further to where the water is, which is where you really need to be going. But there's all this kind of dense dirt, so what's happening is almost like a giant giant forks have come all over the planet, and they've sort of been poking all these holes into the planet. What we are doing is aerating the soil so that we can weed. Yeah, we are aerating the soil so that a weeding can take place, because we needed to loosen the soil up in order to even see what was weeds. And this is what we've been speaking about, this intuitively kind of determining what's a weed and what's kind of draining from the garden of the Earth and what's contributing, what's nutritious and what isn't. But knowing that sometimes weeds look really pretty on the outside, yeah, or sometimes perhaps very nutritious plants that are indigenous to the country, maybe they're kind of spiky and they're not as pretty as some of the other ones, but they're just not as appropriate. So there's this clearing is occurring on the planet so that you can dig your, let's say, your roots, or we could say your pranic tube if you wanted to, those of you who understand that, your light, your energy, your earth star, whatever it is that you want to call it. What we're saying is you can go deeper. You can be more deeply connected to this planet. You can be jacked in to the living library of the planet that gives you every ounce of information you need to know in order to thrive on this planet with all beings living in harmony together. There's also the energy there, the Kundalini energy, the raw firepower is there. Those of you who are ready to wield and use this energy with consciousness and with discernment, you can jack much deeper into the earth than you have been doing. And so this is what we are giving, laying out for those of you who are ready for this. And we know that you know when you're ready. Those of you who are still kind of coming out and awakening, that all seems a little bit too much. What we are inviting you to do in regards to the earth is notice beauty, recognize beauty, pay attention to the beautifulness, pay attention to what is lovely and inspires you or turns you on or makes you feel good, and then point it out to as many people as you can. Do not give the earth your anger. Do not go about yelling and getting upset and angry about the planet, because you are projecting that into her and it's not favourable. So we are inviting you instead to just notice how beautiful she is. Her beauty will inspire you and others to care for her. Oy. Yeah, I feel like I've got my body back now. You could feel it. I was like, no, they're not letting her back yet. There's something else coming. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm back in the room. Even my throat was...
You're on hypo speech, doll.
I know, it goes so quick. And I can't even, like my voice box can't actually keep up with what... It's weird.
Yeah, it's just like, what's what happened when you channel this way?
Thank you for watching today, beautiful ones. I hope you've received this transmission. It's had a positive impact on you. We didn't say goodbye to you, to the camera. We continued on into a conversation afterwards. So I'm sending you love with my voice and my heart and mind, and with this beautiful blue tongue who walked through my yard a couple of days ago, being very discerning about where it went, what pathway it took. See you next week. Happy solstice.